Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about blood. We're going to discuss blood compatibility for blood transfusion. We're going to discuss blood typing, so how can you figure out your own blood type. And we're also going to talk about RhoGAM shots, who gets them and how do they work. On the surface of our red blood cells, we carry proteins known as antigens. Depending on which antigen you are carrying, that's what's going to determine your blood type. We have antigen A, B, and Rh. If someone is only carrying antigen A, then their blood type would be A. If someone is only carrying the B antigen, then their blood type is going to be B. If someone is carrying both at the same time, then their blood type is AB. Notice how there is no antigen called O. O blood type, meaning you don't have any of those antigens. So if you don't have A and you don't have B, then your blood type is O. RH is what's going to make your blood type positive. RH is the rhesus factor, and the reason why it's called rhesus because they first discovered it in monkeys, the rhesus monkeys. Carrying the Rh antigen makes your blood type positive. So if you're carrying Rh, then your blood type is positive. If you are not carrying Rh, then your blood type is negative. In your blood's plasma, this is where we carry antibodies. Antibodies are going to attack anything that looks different, anything that's foreign, antibodies will go ahead and attack it. So if someone's blood type is A, they would have never seen blood type B because they are not carrying the B antigen. And so if someone's blood type is A, they are going to have antibodies against the B antigen. Let's take a look at a few examples. Here is the red blood cell. And you can see that this individual's red blood cell, it's carrying the A antigen and it's carrying the Rh. Then this person's blood type is A positive. If someone is carrying all the antigens out there, the A, the B, and the Rh, then this person's blood type is AB positive. If I'm only carrying the B antigen and I'm not carrying the Rh, then I am B negative. What if I'm not carrying any of them? I'm not carrying the A nor the B, and I'm not even carrying the Rh, then my blood type is O negative. But if I'm only carrying the Rh, then my blood type is O positive. So as you can see, depending on the antigen you are carrying on the surface of your red blood cell, that's what's going to determine your blood type. And there is no O antigen. O meaning that you're not carrying any of the antigens, but you could either be O negative or you could be O positive. If you are O positive, then you are carrying the Rh antigen. So let's go ahead and look at this example. So if a person is carrying the A antigen and the Rh, as we said, this person's blood type is A positive because they are carrying both the A antigen and they are carrying the Rh antigen. Now, what type of antibodies would they have in their blood's plasma? In their plasma, they are going to carry anti-B antibody, or for short, you can just say anti-B. Now, why would they carry anti-B? Because this individual right here, they are not carrying the B antigen. So their immune system has never seen the B. And so B for them is foreign. So their immune system, if it ever gets into contact with the B antigen, their immune system is going to go ahead and attack it. Now, this individual will never carry anti-A antibody. Why? If this individual carries anti-A, what's the problem? Well, the problem is they're going to attack their own blood type because they are carrying A. And if they carry anti-A, anti just means against, right? So if they carry anti-A, that means that they're going to attack their own A antigen. And so they will never have anti-A in their plasma. This individual is never going to have anti-RH. Why? Because they are carrying the RH. So you only carry antibodies against the antigens that you are not carrying. Let's say someone's blood type is A positive. To whom can they donate their blood to? Right here we have all the different blood types listed. Let's go ahead and look at each one together. Can a person who's A positive donate their blood to someone who's A negative? An individual who's A negative is going to be carrying anti-RH antibody. Now, a person who's A positive, they are carrying on their surface the A and the RH antigen. And so a person who's A negative is carrying the anti-RH. So they're going to attack the A positive blood type. So they're not going to be able to take the A positive blood type because they are going to attack it since they have anti-RH. What about AB negative individuals? AB negative, they're carrying the A and the B antigens, and in their plasma, they're carrying anti-RH. So they're also going to attack the A positive blood type because they have anti-RH. What about a B negative individual? B negatives are carrying anti-A antibodies and anti-RH antibodies. And so they're also going to attack A positive blood type if it was given to them because they're going to attack the RH. What about an O negative individual? O negative individual, they are going to actually have all the antibodies. They're going to have anti-A, B, and RH. So they're going to attack both antigen A and RH. So they're not going to be able to take A positive blood type. What about an A positive individual? A positive individual is carrying anti-B. So they are going to be able to take an A positive blood type since they have nothing to attack A positive blood type with. It's the same blood types. They're going to be able to take it. What if someone is B positive? An individual who's B positive is carrying anti-A antibody. So they're not going to be able to take A positive blood type because they're going to attack the antigen A. O positive individual is carrying both antibody A and antibody B. And so again, they're not going to be able to take it, A positive blood type, as they're going to attack the A antigen. What if someone is AB positive? AB positive individuals, they are not carrying any antibodies since they're carrying all the antigens. And so therefore, they are going to be able to take A positive blood type. So an A positive individual is going to only donate to A positive and AB positive. As you can see, an A positive individual or any positive blood type out there is not going to be able to donate their blood to any negative blood types because negative blood types would attack the RH antigen. An A positive individual is never going to be able to donate their blood to anyone carrying the B antigen because those individuals would attack the antigen A. So One more time, an A positive individual is only going to donate to A positive and A B positive. Let's say that an individual's blood type is A positive. What blood type can they receive? Always think that the recipient must have seen the donor's antigens for them to be able to accept the donor's blood, meaning that their immune system must be familiar with the antigens that are about to be received. Otherwise, their immune system is going to attack it. So, can an A positive individual receive an A positive blood type? The answer is yes, because it's exactly the same. Okay. Can an A positive individual receive A negative blood type? A negative blood type is carrying the A antigen on the surface of the red blood cell. Is it carrying anything else? No. So an A positive individual have seen the A antigen before, and so therefore they are going to be able to take an A negative blood type since they've already seen the A antigen. Can they take O positive blood type? An O positive individual is carrying an Rh antigen on the surface of their red blood cells, and that's it. An A positive individual have seen the Rh before, and so they can take an O positive blood type. Can an A positive individual receive O negative? O negative is not carrying any antigens, and so therefore O negative is actually the universal donor. Therefore, an A positive individual is going to be able to take an O negative blood type. Can an A positive individual receive B positive? The person who's B positive is carrying the B and they are carrying the RH. Okay? An A positive individual have seen the RH, but they've never seen B because an A positive individual is carrying anti-B antibody in their plasma. And so they are not going to be able to take a B positive blood type because they're going to attack the B antigen. A person who's B negative is carrying the B antigen. So one more time, an A positive individual is not going to be able to take any blood type actually that has B. So we can go ahead and cross all of those out because all of these blood types have the B antigen. And an A positive individual, they've never seen B before, and that's why they are carrying anti-B antibody. So if they see B, they will go ahead and attack it. And so that means an individual that's A positive is only going to be able to take A positive and A negative, O positive and O negative blood type. Some of you might ask, well, a person who's A negative, aren't they carrying in their plasma anti-RH? Yes, they are. So how come an A positive individual can take a negative blood type that's carrying anti-RH? Isn't that anti-RH going to attack the RH that they are carrying? And so to prevent that from happening, we only receive what's known as the packed red blood cells, meaning that the blood transfusion is basically a concentrated red blood cell content without the plasma, because the antibodies are found in the plasma. And so to prevent that, they are not going to give the plasma, they are only going to give the red blood cells. And so therefore, an A positive individual is going to be able to receive an A negative blood type because they're only going to be receiving the red blood cells and not the whole entire blood. The plasma, where the antibodies are carried, is going to be taken out. If a person's blood type is B positive, that means that on the surface of their red blood cell, they're carrying the B antigen and the Rh antigen, and that means that in their plasma, they are carrying antibody A. They're never going to carry, of course, antibody B or antibody Rh, otherwise they will attack their own blood type. If a person is B positive and they need blood, they can take B positive since it's exactly the same. They can also take B negative since they've seen the B before and that person is not carrying anything else. And then they also can take O positive and O negative. O negative is not carrying any antigens, and that's why we refer to it as the universal donor. An O positive individual is only carrying Rh, which is already carried by the recipient right here. So those are the blood types that are going to be able to be accepted. A person who's B positive can only donate their blood to positive individuals. They can never donate their blood to negative individuals. Yes, they can receive both positive and negative, but when it comes to donation, they can only donate to positive individuals because negative individuals would have never seen their Rh. B positive individuals can donate it therefore to B positive or AB positive. They cannot donate their blood to O because O individuals would have never seen their B. They can never donate their blood to A individuals as A individuals would have never seen their B as well. They can give it to someone who's AB because that person is not carrying any antibodies that would harm that blood right there. And so B positive individuals can donate it to B positive and AB positive. An individual whose blood type is A negative, they are only carrying the A antigen on the surface of their red blood cell. They are going to carry their antibodies in their plasma. Now, when do we make our antibodies? We make our antibodies after birth. So after birth, we start making our antibodies. So after birth, this individual is going to start making their anti-B antibody. But they are actually not going to make their anti-Rh antibody right away. They're only going to make this antibody only if they get exposed to the Rh antigen. If they get exposed to the Rh antigen, that's when they're going to start making their anti-Rh antibody. So let's say that an individual who's A negative needs blood. What blood type can they accept? They can take A negative or O negative, nothing else. They cannot take anything that has B because they have anti-B antibody. They cannot take Rh because if they're given blood that's positive, they're quickly going to start making antibodies against it. And so therefore, they're not going to be able to take any blood that has Rh. If they need to donate their blood to someone, then they can give it to both negative and positive individuals. They can give it to A negative, AB negative, A positive, and AB positive. Of course, they cannot give it to someone who's O because O individuals would be carrying anti-A antibodies. And they cannot give it to someone who's just B because B blood types are going to also be carrying anti-A antibodies. To figure out our own blood type, what we do is we go ahead and we prick ourselves, and then we get a slide, and we go ahead and we smear our blood. We divide it usually on like 2-3 spots. So we go ahead and we place some of our blood right here, right there as well. And then to each drop of blood that we've smeared on the slide, we go ahead and we add some antibodies. So right here, I'll go ahead and add antibody A. Right here to that blood, I'm going to add antibody B. And to that last one, I'm going to add antibody RH. Those antibodies are going to attack antigens. So antibody A attacks the A antigen, antibody B attacks the B antigen, antibody RH attacks the RH antigen. So let's say that after I've placed my antibodies, my blood started to clump up, or we use the word agglutinate. So my blood agglutinated right here, coming from the word glue, by the way. So that just means your blood is clumping together and sticking together. So let's say that your blood agglutinated only after you've added your antibody A. What is your blood type? Your blood type is A negative. How come? A person who's A negative, they are carrying antigen A on the surface of their red blood cells. Will this individual ever carry antibody A in their plasma? Never, because if they carry antibody A in their plasma, as you can see, their blood is going to be attacked and their blood is going to be clumped. So actually, to figure out our own blood type, what we try to do is attack our own blood. And by attacking our own blood, we can figure out what's our blood type. Why is nothing happening after I've added anti-B and anti-RH? Well, because if someone is A negative, they are not carrying the B antigen and they are not carrying the RH antigen. So those are not going to be attacked. So where the blood clumps, that's your blood type. Let's look at another example. So I'm going to put some blood right here on my slide, and then to each I'm going to go ahead and add some antibodies. So anti-A, and then over here I'm going to add my antibodies B, and over here I'm going to add my antibodies RH. And let's say that this time your blood clumped right here. What is your blood type? Your blood type is O positive. An O positive individual is only carrying the RH antigen. And that's why when you added the antibody RH, that was the antigen that got attacked. Why nothing happened when you added anti-A or anti-B? Because an O positive individual is not carrying the A or the B antigen. And so nothing is going to be attacked if you added anti-A antibody or anti-B antibody. So again, where it clumps, that's your blood type. Let's say it clumped everywhere. That means you're carrying all the antigens. That means your blood type is A, B positive. Let's say you added all the antibodies and your blood did not get attacked at all. That means you are not carrying any of the antigens. That means your blood type is O negative. Let's look at this scenario together. Let's say we have a male and his blood type is positive. That means that his blood is carrying the RH antigen. let's say we have a female and her blood type is negative. That means that she is not carrying the Rh antigen. That means the Rh antigen for her is a foreign antigen. As we said before, you do not make anti-Rh antibodies right away if your blood is negative. You only make anti-Rh antibodies only if you are exposed to the Rh antigen. So let's say that this female right here, her blood type is negative and she's never been exposed to the Rh antigen. That means her body is not going to be carrying the anti-Rh antibodies. Okay, let's say that now she is pregnant. Now, if the dad was positive, there is a chance that the baby is going to be Rh positive because the baby could have inherited the Rh from the dad. Now, this baby right here is growing inside of the female's placenta. Now, mom's blood and baby's blood do not mix. The only time the baby's blood is going to mix with the mom's blood is during delivery, or if a female is pregnant and she receives trauma to her belly, then the baby's blood could mix in with the mom's blood. Or if the mom goes through a miscarriage, then baby's blood can mix. Or if she goes through a procedure and they have to check something and they insert a needle, and that can cause the baby's blood to mix in with the mom's blood. So otherwise, mom's blood and baby's blood, they stay separated. But even though mom's blood and baby's blood don't mix, the mom can actually send antibodies through the placenta to the baby. Which type of antibodies can pass through the placenta? Anti-Rh antibodies. Anti-A antibodies and anti-B antibodies, those are really hard for them. It's really hard for them to pass through the placenta. But it's pretty easy for the anti-Rh antibodies to pass into the placenta. Okay, now let's say that the baby's blood right here is positive. And the mom went ahead and delivered the baby. Now, as I said, during delivery, baby's blood is going to mix with the mom's blood. Once the baby's blood, as you can see, due to the delivery, some of the baby's blood mixed in with the mom's blood, what's going to happen? The mom is going to start making antibodies. Do you see those green structures right here? Those are anti-Rh antibodies. Why did the mom start making those antibodies even though she did not have them before? She started making those antibodies because some of the positive blood from the baby got mixed in with her blood when she was delivering her baby. So the mom starts making anti-Rh antibodies right away. And we say this process is known as sensitization. So sensitization is basically the process of making anti-Rh antibodies. Or we say the mom is now sensitized. Okay. Now, baby was delivered, so the baby was safe. Okay, let's say the same female, okay, is pregnant for the second time. Now, is there something different about the female now? Yes. The female's blood is, of course, still negative. But what's different about her blood is now she is carrying anti-Rh antibodies. And those antibodies, the anti-Rh, can easily pass through the placenta. Now let's say her second baby, which is right now inside of her placenta, is positive. Is the second baby in danger? Yes, the second baby is in danger. Why? Because now the mom is carrying anti-Rh antibodies. Those antibodies are going to pass through the placenta, and what are they going to do to the baby's blood? They're going to attack the baby's blood. And the baby develops or goes through something known as erythroblastosis fetalis. Let's break it down. Erythro meaning red blood cells. Blastosis, you're shattering them, you're blasting them off. Fetalis, because it's a fetus. So the mom's antibodies are actually attacking the red blood cell of the baby. Instead of calling it erythroblastosis fetalis, they call it hemolytic disease of the newborn. And again, that's when the mom is sending antibodies, anti-Rh antibodies, attacking her own baby in her placenta. Why is that dangerous? Well, because if the red blood cells are attacked, the baby is going to develop anemia, and the baby can develop jaundice, and if it's very severe, the baby might die. And so actually a lot of kids were dying before being delivered because the mom was sending off antibodies attacking her own child. Now, after they realized that this might happen, they came up with something known as the RhoGAM shot. A RhoGAM shot is a shot of antibodies. Now, this RhoGAM shot, what it does is it prevents the female from making her own anti-Rh antibodies. And the whole reason why this shot would be given to a pregnant female is to prevent her from making her own anti-Rh antibodies and therefore prevent her from attacking her own baby. Now, the RhoGAM shot is only going to be given to females who are pregnant and their blood type is negative. It's never going to be given to an Rh positive female, because if a female is carrying the Rh antigen, her blood type is positive, then she's never going to attack her baby. Why? Because if your blood type is positive, you're not going to be making anti-Rh antibody in the first place, and therefore you're not going to be attacking your baby. Therefore, RhoGAM shots are only given to negative blood types. And RhoGAM shots are only going to work if they are given to females who have not been sensitized yet, meaning that those females did not make their antibodies yet. And so if the female is negative blood type and she didn't make any anti-Rh antibodies yet, they are going to give her the RhoGAM shot. Why? Because there is a high chance that her baby might be positive, and you do not want the mom to start attacking her own baby. especially if it's her second child or if it's her third child. Because as we said, during delivery, there's a high chance that the mom's blood and baby's blood get mixed. So when is the RhoGAM shot given? The RhoGAM shot is usually given during the 28th week of pregnancy and the 36th week of pregnancy. And it's also going to be given after delivery, especially if the baby turns out to be positive. They're going to give her the RhoGAM shot, and the RhoGAM shot prevents the female from making her own antibodies, her own anti-Rh antibodies. RhoGAM shots are also given to females who are negative and who are not sensitized if they've received belly trauma. So, as I said, belly trauma can cause the blood to mix. And so to quickly prevent a female from making her own antibodies if she does receive trauma to her belly, the RhoGAM shot needs to be given within 72 hours of the trauma. Otherwise, the mom is going to start making her own antibodies. Now, what if a female is negative, but she's already sensitized? Let's say she does have the anti-Rh antibodies in her blood plasma. Is she going to be given the RhoGAM shot? No, because unfortunately, the RhoGAM shot now cannot do anything to help her. The whole point of the RhoGAM shot is to prevent the female from making her own antibodies. So if she already made her own antibodies because she was sensitized before, then the RhoGAM shot is not going to be able to protect the baby. And so if a female is sensitized already, how can we protect the baby? The only thing they do is to keep monitoring the mom's antibody levels and see if they are dangerously getting higher. Then they will try to monitor the baby, try to give the baby blood transfusion through the umbilical cord. And if the baby is in so much stress, they will have to deliver the baby premature.